I'm going to explain to you the dynamics of how Dee Messina, the country songwriter and singer from Nashville, how her daddy is involved, allegedly, but proven to be, okay? Friends with Mary Hare, Jeff Hare, Michael Knox, probably Joda Hodge, as well as her daddy's probably involved with being the principal in Northeast Kingdom. Of course, he's friends with and knows of the politicians right up through to T.J. Donovan, knowing that his daughter's a country singer. And what about all of the schools and the children and everybody that have been sexually lured in Brighton Elementary? How about the other children throughout the Northeast Kingdom? Any school for that matter. But I'm going to talk to you about Dee Messina's daddy and what his involvement is with my children's schooling and the abuse sexually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. All right, so Vincent Messina, Dee Messina's daddy, her mother's dead. Well, he became the principal in Waterford, Vermont, which is just beside Barnet, okay? Now, think about it. Dee Messina's dad is friends with everybody involved in the politics in the state of Vermont. He's also friends with, obviously, the school board members and all of that. Now, knowing that he was involved with the school boards back in 2006, 2007, when they took Brianna and Kiana and Savannah from my custody, saying that they were abandoned, I wonder if Dee Messina and Joda Hodge were planning on making a movie together about this and using her vocals and his writing for the screen show. Now, mind you, I have complained to the school supervisory for how many years now? All of them since 2006, okay? Right up until 2022. I'm still complaining to them. So I put it in court filings. Ash Princess, you're a stupid fucker. You don't know what you're talking about, drag queen. So then you got Mary Hare and Jeff Hare. For some reason, Brianna told me that Jeff Hare was on the Lactaid, you know, the milk carton, Lactaid, lactose-free milk, okay? For some reason, she's convinced he's on that commercial. I don't know. We're going to find out because it's all part of the filing. Mary Hare, we know that she took Brianna out of school. Jocelyn Gervais said that she was taking her to Walmart. That would be across the state line without my permission. Even outside the school would be without my permission. And then my daughter gets dumbed down to an IEP plan. Okay, so knowing again that Dee Messina, the country singer's father, from St. Johnsbury area, Vermont, was the overseer and has to do with what happened to my daughter without a doubt. Why? Because I contacted him through the supervisory of the schools. I left messages for him. And one of the times that I got a message back was from a male subject on the other end that answered the phone and said to me, his message to me was, there's nothing I'm going to do about it. Well, that coincides with all of what's happened to my children. So I bring it to Nashville, Tennessee. Dee Messina's daddy, I want him investigated by the FBI. And I'm requesting that he be investigated by the FBI. Ash Princess, I don't know what you have to do with this, but you probably need to be investigated, as well as Jeffrey Noyce, Jeff Hare, Mary Hare, Jocelyn Gervais, Dr. Michael S. Knox, who was the actual principal in Brighton Elementary during 2006-2007. Well, he's recently been charged with rape. How about that, folks? Look him up, Dr. Michael S. Knox. From New Jersey, okay? He went to Island Pond. He was the only black person there. He demanded money. He raped my daughter without a doubt, either sexually, Physically, emotionally, I know, and mentally, I know. Okay? With his abuse in all different ways. And I'm sure his wife, Sarah, or ex-wife to be, will tell you a whole lot more. Because Michael Knox, the old principal, who's friends with Jody Messina's dad and Mary Hare and Jeff Hare, Jeff Noyce, Essex County Sheriff's Department, Vermont State Police, all of the politicians that were involved in abusing my daughter, as well as other children, as well as Claire Deslanda's son. Now, Claire Deslanda's been busted many times for heroin and other drugs, okay? And Jeremiah's been abused his whole life. And he was abused by Michael Knox in front of me. And then Michael Knox came to my house and tried to make a peace treaty so I wouldn't call the cops on him. He gave Jeremiah a gun. I couldn't do anything about it because I'm not Jeremiah's mother. But I made everybody aware of it, and then they took my children. They abused my children. They destroyed my home. I'm talking about the town politicians, and it was allowed by what? The police and the other politicians, as well as school advisory and the teachers and the guidance counselors and the IEP teacher. She's the one that coordinated and orchestrated all this fucking shit, isn't she? Mary Hare? Through Jocelyn Gervais and Michael Knox, and Jody Messina's father knows about it, and he has known about it. So how many other kids? Jody Messina, I'm asking you publicly to speak to myself and my daughter, and you come up with a solution and help with the investigation into your own father for what he's done and what he's part of. He may not have physically done something to my daughter, but he knew about it. He's a mandated reporter, therefore he failed the children of Northeast Kingdom, and I don't graciously appreciate that. Okay? You come from Massachusetts. I was born in Vermont, and my grandfather was the founder of Yarmouthport, Massachusetts. How about that? So my family, and anybody's family's just as important, if not more important than your family. Just because you came from Framingham, Massachusetts doesn't mean shit. We're all God's children, and your father had no right abusing my children or allowing the abuse of my children. No more than Mary Hare, any of the politicians, or any of your friends. And let's talk about Joda Hodge. Joda Hodge, what happened to Melissa Jenkins? Why is Melissa Jenkins and two other people gone? Melissa Jenkins was dead down by my home, found bottoms up. She was the teacher from where? St. Johnsbury Academy. She stopped seeing Joda Hodge, and knowing that Jody Messina's father is involved with the schools up there, where she went missing, dead, body found, bottoms up in the river down by my house, Waterford, Barnet area, and two other people were accused and convicted of her murder. That needs to be investigated. Why is it that an innocent plowman and his girlfriend get called out to save somebody? You can't prove that it was... What? That's right. You can't prove it was Melissa Jenkins that called the plowman. And the cigarette butt and the hat that were there at the scene, that there tells me somebody planted it. Why didn't Joda get investigated? Why is it that Joda's brother came up missing dead? He didn't come up missing, he came up dead. And that got blamed on his girlfriend being the last one to see him. It's right in his fucking trailer for his film that his brother was dead. What about Joda's mother? And then he calls his sister on his trailer for his film, and he's really rude to her. He has no respect for women. Why is it Joda Hodge called me and asked me if I was around to do some work, and then my house trailer and my car came up missing that had all of the evidence of a sexual assault with all the blood-stained pants and clothing in the back seat in the trash bag? Tell me that, Vermont State Police, Mark Newell. Tell me why the coil spring in the middle of the night on my Subaru. Tell me that, please. Tell me why I have all this paperwork I've dropped off to Washington, D.C. if I'm such a fucking liar, Ash Princess. I think you are involved. I want Arnie DuBois investigated for his drug use and distribution. He sells it, he makes it, and he gets people hooked on it. I want the Caitlin DeSlandis accident looked into, fully investigated. Where did the drugs come from? There are 5 agencies. Why are there 2 children dead and 1 being harassed? Because she's been a product of all of these people I just previously fucking mentioned. So it needs to be a further investigation. I'll be making that call today. You all stay blessed and have a happy Easter at the end.